This is Snake. Can you hear me? Good. The mission is simple. Put your geek pants on and infiltrate Foxhound. If you need backup, contact Ken and Chris on their codec frequency. Ready? Snake out.
You're right. Can I get this fucking wind blown out of our sails?
That's why I'm a fucking on-camera personality, not behind the scenes. Because behind the scenes, shit gets fucked up. Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 3. Chris is laughing because we just recorded part 1, but we didn't record part 1. Because
battery died, phone wasn't plugged in, so we got 40 minutes of part 1. And part 1 was pretty friggin' good, so we'll have to redo that one.
Yeah, we'll redo that. So I don't know how we're going to post this yet. If I'm just going to wait till part 1's actually done before I post this one, or if I'll post this one just to confuse the fuck out of everyone. Wait, where's part 1?
I almost feel like
should do it
we
backwards.
should do the Tarantino thing. Just fuck it, do part 2 first.
Yeah. Fuck you all up. Yeah.
Well,
so
yeah.
anyways.
So part 2.
That was a great conversation, Chris. I'm glad no one will ever hear it.
They'll hear parts of it when we do it again. Because some of that shit is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
You know,
just come out naturally.
Hey, maybe it'll even be better.
Maybe.
Why don't you be positive about this?
All right.
Yeah, let's
what
be
would
positive.
Captain America do?
He would be positive about
He'd be
this.
positive about
That's
this?
right. And you know what? Tony Stark would too. So if you're Team Iron Man...
Right.
Oh, wait, that was last video.
You know who is Team Iron Man? Spider-Man.
Yes, he is very much Team Spider.
I'll
Team
recycle
Iron
my
Man.
joke. Here's Iron Man 4, Spider-Man Homecoming. Come on.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke, but it's a good joke. Dig is what it is.
You know what? I gotta say, this is a really cool cover. I love how they did all the printing backwards on the back. So you have to flip it.
You have to flip it upside down. I'll say this part is a really cool cover part. I actually don't like that you have Iron Man.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Awful.
Then, slide it out. Oh, guess what? Iron Man is there again too. Now,
yeah.
I'm not as hating on it because of the Iron Man aspects, but I would wish that they would, even in the marketing, allow it to stand on its own merits.
But the thing is, why Iron Man is on this is because this was Sony's movie to put out. Not Disney's like the rest.
That's right.
Sony knows, hey, all our stuff sucks. We need to put Iron Man all over
Even if Iron Man was in for 20, maybe 5 minutes in the whole movie.
Yeah, I gotta say that Bill Zwecker of the Chicago Sun-Times, best Spider-Man movie ever.
No. He just says best Spider-Man ever.
Oh, best Spider-Man ever?
So.
Either way, best Spider-Man ever. You're an idiot, Bill. All right.
Okay.
So.
All right. So.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yep. I'm waiting for you. I feel like this is going to be a good one to just listen to you just chew this movie up.
Especially now that I'm just fucking all raged up.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's walking in on a bad moment right now.
Yeah, exactly. It is not good. Not good.
Well, you know, I gotta have it from me so I can stare into the eyes of Spider-Man as I'll start off with the good, because I feel like the good will be shorter.
Okay.
Michael Keaton's awesome in this as the Vulture.
Yeah, he is.
He's awesome in it.
He is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. I'm done.
I don't know why you gotta flip it over.
Oh, because it's not. Yeah. No, on this one, it's not upside down.
That is hilarious. Okay.
All right, so we'll slide that out so I can actually read the fucking thing. Okay.
Right.
Marissa Tomei's great as Aunt May.
Yeah, even though not that they skewed younger because she's like 50.
Yeah,
but
and she looks younger than she is.
She looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean.
And I mean, it's a younger Spider-Man now. It's going to make sense that we have a younger Aunt May.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be decrepit or anything like that. Like the Ultimate version. I love the Ultimate version.
Yeah,
where she's older, but she's not falling apart.
Exactly.
You know.
So
I always kind of thought that with Homecoming that was the route they were going to go, but I mean it's close enough with Marissa Tomei.
Yeah,
I agree.
I like the name Homecoming. I do like the name.
So do
I like it because he's in high school. They're doing the whole homecoming thing, but also because he's coming home to Marvel.
Exactly. That works.
It's got a nice touch to it.
Yep.
So when they announced the name Homecoming, I was like, I like that.
I heard a rumor for the sequel. It's going to be Spider-Man Academy, which I was like, that's garbage. Can it just be Spider-Man 2? I know we already have a Spider-Man 2. I get that. But
that's garbage.
Or like
it better not be Spider-Man Academy.
Because it can't be Spider-Man Homecoming 2 because that's dumb and redundant.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Spider-Man something else, but Academy is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just dumb.
I think they should just go back. They should go back just to like the titles of the comics again.
Yeah.
Like they were kind of doing.
Let's go
the
Spectacular
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Web of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Spider-Man's Tangled Web.
Exactly. So,
there's a lot of options.
Tons.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yep.
Hey, that works.
That one I'm not really.
No,
but still, they've got
options.
They got
options.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just so fucking flustered that we lost the first part, and I'm talking about one of my least favorite Marvel movies right now. It's just like, hey, I should have a fucking shot beside me or something.
Yeah, you might as well at this
Yeah.
point. I mean, it might get you back in the groove.
Or knock me out.
Or knock you out, yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on here. But, okay.
Okay, so Vulture's the bad guy in this. The reasoning behind him being the villain, I like it. I like it a lot. I like how...
I like that. I actually like the reasoning behind it being just basically just...
It's coming right off of the first Avengers with the War of New York.
Yep, I love that he's a city worker.
Yep.
You know, I love that it's just like the damage control shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking created by Tony Stark.
Yep.
So now you've got Tony Stark causing a mess and then cleaning it up, and the city worker gets fucked over.
Yes.
Like, I thought that was a great way because it immediately makes you go, okay, so he's not just a cutthroat piece of shit. He's just literally like, hey, look, like I had a bunch of guys here.
No, he was a very sympathetic guy.
I even love the part where the guy goes, well, you shouldn't have overextended your reach, and he's just kind of like, shouldn't have even, boom, knocks him right out. I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Fuck that guy.
Because, I mean, even though, what's her face, I can't remember her name, but the head of damage control, great casting. She looks exactly like they do in the comic books.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember her name either. I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
These people probably won't.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But, you know what? Google.
Yeah, Google does wonders.
I mean, I like that she's a little bit more on the sympathetic side, where she's like, look, like, I mean, there's not really much we can do type of thing. You know, but I love it that it immediately gives him a target in Tony Stark and gives him a reason to do what he's doing, you know. And also, I love that they tackled the scavenger aspect of a vulture.
That's cool.
You know, like
That's
a vulture
cool.
is a bird of prey, but it is also largely a scavenger, right? Which I thought was a really cool thing that you never really saw anything like that in the comic books.
Yeah.
He was the old guy with the really, like, the iconic costume that I wish we would have got to see in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Okay, fine. This was really close.
It's a cool costume. Like,
really,
they gave him
really close.
the big
with,
fucking
like,
ruffles around the
but
neck.
I like that they got that. They've got, like, the bombardier jacket. Like,
Yep.
everything makes sense. And it's all stolen Stark tech.
Right.
You know?
Which leads me to believe that Stark should probably fucking do inventory better.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like my whole big, like, besides the Iron Man aspect of it all.
It still
like,
bugs me.
Because he kicks us off after the New York thing, right?
Yep.
He goes fucking bad guy right away after that. So he's been doing this for years.
I wouldn't say a bad guy, because he's not really hurting anybody.
Right, he's just stealing and
He
stuff.
is robbing, because he's going to fuck people up that are going to stop him.
Yeah.
So he's not a burglar, like Ant-Man.
No.
He is a robber.
Yes.
Okay? But he's doing it on this, he wants to do it as far under the radar as possible, because they can't operate out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I thought that was a great touch, too.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Where he's literally like, the reason why I've been doing this for so long is because we've been under the radar. Nobody knows we're doing this.
Yeah.
So that's a nice touch. And the twist, which we'll get to at some point. But
yeah, so, I mean, but he's been doing this for years.
8 years.
8 years.
Which kind of messes up with the continuity of the timing.
He's taken fucking Stark's tech. He's taken the Chitauri stuff.
Yep.
And during this entire time, during these 8 years, nobody knows about this except Spider-Man when he stumbles upon it.
Yeah, by accident.
By accident.
You know, I'll say this really quick. So anytime there's been an Avengers-type battle with whoever, doesn't matter if it's Avengers or Captain America, whatever, when there's damage and parts and stuff lying around, these are the guys that are picking it up as quickly as they can, or making it so that they can steal it in between transports and stuff like that. Really smart, which I really liked. It was a really interesting take on a character that could have been a throwaway bad guy.
Easily.
You know.
So they made a very interesting villain.
Yeah.
With the Vulture.
Especially when they could have gone with the Green Goblin again. Which I'm glad they didn't. They could have gone with Dr. Octopus again, which I'm glad they didn't.
No, because he's been perfected.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's going to be really hard.
To top that.
It's going to be hard to come close to like matching Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
And the characterization. As opposed to beating it. Like, never mind beating it, just matching it.
I know.
You know? Because, like, with Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Peter Parker, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best Spider-Man and Peter Parker together.
At doing both?
Yeah.
Yes.
Will always have a soft spot for Tobey Maguire.
Me too. I mean,
how
old were we when the first movie came out?
Doesn't even matter. Spider-Man 2 is still one of the greatest movies of all time.
It was a big moment for us to see Spider-Man on the big screen. Finally.
Huge. And to have him actually be like a nerd.
Yeah.
And then to be Spider-Man. And even though his Spider-Man is the weakest Spider-Man of the three.
Yeah.
He's still really good. You know, I mean, it's just... But like I said, Spider-Man 2, amazing.
Yeah. So, like, I think, like, that was our Spider-Man growing up. So, to me, I'm always going to have that soft spot. He's always going to be my favorite Spider-Man.
Yep.
It's like my dad with Bond. He loves Bond.
Yep.
His favorite's Roger Moore because that was his Bond growing up.
That's right. And that's like Daniel Craig is my favorite.
Right.
Even though I grew up with Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig's my favorite. Yeah. He's going to be the one that I will always now compare others to. Where I'll go, yeah, you're good, but you ain't no Daniel Craig. But anyway.
So, so all of this is going on, and Spider-Man stumbles upon it, and no one believes him. Tony Stark doesn't believe him. Okay, now, Tony, your shit's been going missing for 8 years. How does nobody notice this and then not believe him when they say, hey, somebody's stealing the Chitauri in your tech?
I'd be
like, maybe I should just look into this.
Even the first time I watched this movie, and I like this movie better than Kenneth does. I love this movie.
He does, because when we walked out there, you actually said that's your favorite Spider-Man.
I said this is my favorite Spider-Man. Now, retroactively, I'll go, he's my favorite Spider-Man. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie, okay? But even watching it, the first time when they did that 8-year leap, and they had Peter Parker be the guy that brings it to Tony's attention, and Tony goes, just don't worry about the guy with the wings. Just leave it for the experts to deal with or whatever. Which,
as far as is him.
Immediately that makes me go, okay, so now he's brought it to your attention that this guy's using tech. Now, he doesn't say it's Stark tech. He doesn't make any mention of it being Stark tech, but he does say that this guy's got crazy tech, and no one knows who he is. And, it's weird that Tony Stark's response is, leave it for the experts, and then...
The FBI, right? Is it like...
Hold on. Leave it for the experts, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's the scene where it's just the suit. It's not even... Stark's not even there.
But it was Stark that called the FBI to the ferry.
We find that out later, though.
Right.
Which
really boggled my mind.
Again, we get to the ferry scene, which is really cool, but you're right. He goes like, I'm the one who called the FBI. And then immediately I go, the FBI? You're fucking Iron Man. And even though Civil Wars happened, you still are friends with a large portion of the Avengers. So you send the FBI to find this guy who's wearing a giant wing suit that you already heard from, like, Peter Parker was like, this guy fucked me up.
Last time I checked, it was his problem to kind of look after the superhero, or the bad guy, the supervillain.
The other thing, too, is, okay, so you've got Tony Stark, who enlists a kid.
Right away, that's sketchy, right?
Enlists a kid to help him fight Captain America in Civil War.
Yeah.
And then he later says, the reason why I did that was because I knew Cap was going to pull his punches on you. So now, you use this kid as a pawn in your fight with your buddy. And then he comes across something that you should have been aware of just by regular checks and balances, like, hey, every shipment we've ever had since the Chitauri stuff has been, there's been stuff missing every single time, but this kid shows up and points this out, and you're still just like, yeah, don't worry about it, buddy boy. And this is still a kid in a decked out super suit.
Yeah.
You know. And that's on you. He even says that in the movie. He goes, if I die, I kind of feel like that's on me. No, it's 100% on you, you stupid asshole.
Yeah.
Like, it's 100% on you. There's no way around it. And for a guy that went through PTSD...
Right.
And he's an adult.
Yeah.
And they never really touch upon his age. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, Stark's in his mid-30s in Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's closer to 50. By the time this movie hits, he's closer to 50.
Yeah.
Even though we know, I think Robert Downey Jr. is in fact 50. He's closer. We'll say he's closer to 50. Yeah. You got a kid who's a kid, and you went through post-traumatic stress disorder, but you're just like, yeah, it's cool, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, if you die, I kind of think it's on me. Like, those parts there that still stick out, still bug me, and still is just like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
This is so dumb, and it actually makes Tony Stark look like a shitty parent.
Yeah. This is my least favorite take on Tony
like,
Stark.
Civil War did a great job of not making you hate either Tony Stark or Captain America. If you're Team Iron Man, you still can kind of go, I can kind of see where Captain America's coming from, and vice versa. You can kind of see where Tony Stark's coming from if you're Team America. If you're Team America, America! That's right. Here to save the motherfucking day, yeah. If you're Team America, you still kind of go, I can see where Tony Stark's coming from. Whereas in this one, I'm like, I don't understand at all. Especially because they're co-opting Tony Stark as the Ben character, as the Ben Parker character, as the guy that leads Peter Parker to become the actual Spider-Man that we know and love, because with great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that. We get, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it, which is an updated version, which is good. It's just, it's Peter Parker's looking up to Tony Stark because he wants to be like Tony Stark, and even though Stark says, I want you to be better, you're being a piece of shit. You're being a fucking piece of shit. You're the absentee dad that now suddenly, when he actually has to be a dad, he's pissed. Oh, all the, no thanks to you. Like, is everyone okay? No thanks to you. It's fuck you.
Yeah. And
I like that at least they have Parker literally going, well, thanks to me, you would never even heard about this if I didn't bring it to your attention. And he's like, I called the FBI. And again, the FBI, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're Tony Stark, you called the FBI. That still never flies with me.
No sense.
Doesn't fly with me. And it does take me out of the movie enough where I'm just like... But, when there's no Tony Stark, when it's just Peter Parker being Peter Parker in high school and being Spider-Man, it is so good. Like, you can't tell me that it isn't so good.
No, the school scenes are great.
Even the scene where he's at Delmar's Deli, and the guy says in Italian, or whatever language that they're speaking, because they don't really give the ethnicity, but he's talking about Peter's Aunt May going, she's a really hot Italian lady. And then he fires back in the same language, oh, how's your daughter?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, all right,
So...
Okay, but yeah, the Tony Stark stuff...
Just way too much Tony Stark.
There's way too much.
It's basically like Spider-Man cannot exist without Iron Man.
Yeah.
In anywhere form. I know, I'm fine with them wanting to escape the whole Uncle Ben thing, go a different route with this, but the Uncle Ben thing still happened. There was still an Uncle Ben.
That's right.
He isn't even mentioned in this movie.
No.
There's not even a photo in the apartment of this
nope.
a random guy.
There is absolutely nothing. In fact, while they don't mention it in Civil War, it's made very apparent that that's why, like, the Ben thing is why he's doing what he's doing. And it's blatantly obvious without them actually saying, my uncle died because I didn't fucking save him.
Yep.
I didn't stop the robber or whatever they updated, but ultimately it always has to be. he's Spider-Man in the way we know him and love him now because he fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
He was an arrogant prick, and he led to his father being killed, and that's why he's that's why he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay. It always has to be that way. You can tweak it, but it always has to ultimately be his fault because that's the life lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then when you co-opt him, like I said, when you co-opt it with Tony Stark and he's being this piece of shit dad, he's basically being the cool older brother that you don't realize is actually kind of a douchebag because you idolize him. It's that part where now it doesn't ring true. And they, like, very lightly touch upon it in this one where he's like, when Ned's character catches him.
Right.
When he comes in, takes the suit off, and he's just like, oh, I'm not Spider-Man! You're Spider-Man! I'm not Spider-Man! And it's like, don't tell Aunt May after everything she's been through. Just that line, and you gotta go, oh, okay. But that's it.
That's it.
Never mentions it again, ever. Which, like I said...
It bothers me.
It bothers me,
it does,
too.
Because Spider-Man, no matter what version, he's always been Spider-Man because of Uncle Ben. Show me a picture.
Hell, even have him visit the grave. If you don't want to cast him, maybe I don't need a picture, but I need something that says, you know what?
The tombstone doesn't even have to say Ben on it. It could just be him looking down at a tombstone, and I would know right away.
I would know right away, and Michelle would know because of me just being...
Anyone would really know.
You know?
Because, and then, like, the end of the movie, when he's under all the rubble and shit, and he's thinking back about talking with Tony Stark.
Yeah, that part really... That
was
the perfect scene
you think about,
for them to do the great power comes great responsibility.
Or
even not even that, or just have him, like, holding his his uncle's hand or whatever.
Something simple. Something so simple.
And that's where, like...
He doesn't think about his aunt. He doesn't think about MJ. Like, he thinks about nothing.
He thinks about
Tony Stark.
The guy who really didn't give him the time. Hell, I would have accepted if he thought about Happy.
Yeah.
Because Happy's stuff in this movie,
right.
I actually really liked.
Happy's awesome in this.
My favorite part is where Happy is like, the put upon, like, yeah, fucking leave me alone, don't bother me. But at the end, you have where he goes, huh? And, like, he's like, you find out that Happy's the one that discovered Spider-Man and brought him to Tony's attention.
Yeah.
So instantly now, and his stuff was played for laughs, and you were like, ha ha ha, but at the end, you're just like, oh my god, that is awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm so happy Jon Favreau came back, and he was great in this.
Yeah.
He was great. That little twist on all of it was great.
Yep. But I agree, like, I know what they're trying to do, and I get it, but at the same time, like, don't try to rewrite it. Like, that was one of the things I didn't like about Amazing Spider-Man, was that they were rewriting it again. They were doing an updated version.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, they had it be ultimately his fault that Ben was killed, but they still were trying to soften that by emphasizing his parents' role in his life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different take, but now his dad's the one that says, with great power comes great responsibility. That's a great take, but it has no emotional bearing because who the fuck is this guy? Yeah, you're my dad, but I never knew who you were.
Yeah.
I was always raised by my aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Sure, I knew they were my aunt and uncle, but they might as well be my parents. So, you know, and for a guy like me whose dad wasn't always in his life, who's even his parents, like my parental structure isn't conventional. My grandparents are better parents than my parents ever were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was one of those things where it kind of always spoke.
They were
to
basically
me.
your main men, yeah.
Yeah, they were my main men. So growing up, I could feel for this guy because, I mean, yeah, my parents are still alive. It was just that was the scenario that's how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was there. Then when my mom wasn't, my dad showed up. But it was always my grandparents. So I got it.
Yeah.
So then to rewrite it and try to, like, do it with his parents or to do it with Tony Stark, it's like you're missing a vital part of this character. And it's maddening because this is a Marvel/Sony effort.
Right. This is the first one that Marvel's actually involved with.
And especially because, like, we mentioned in part 1, and we'll mention again in part 1A, the Redux.
Part 1, the reboot.
The reboot, yes, the reboot. That scene where you introduce Peter Parker is amazing.
Yes.
It's so good. And if there was more of that here, it's so good that it's like, okay, so you got that part right. How did you start stumbling over here? And also, what happens when now it's just Spider-Man and Sony? You built up this mythos laced with Tony Stark.
Exactly.
What do you do afterwards?
Anything happens between Sony and Marvel now, they're fucked.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Like, we're lucky that he's in Infinity War.
Spider-Man 3, Homecoming 3, or whatever it's going to be called.
Academy 2.
All of a sudden, Uncle Ben's in the picture because Marvel Studios isn't involved anymore.
Yeah, and then it's going to be weird because then it's going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, it's Uncle Ben, hey!
They'll have the Clone Saga and they'll bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, so like I agree with you. The parts that don't work almost wreck the movie for me.
Yeah.
It's just Holland's portrayal is so good.
He's really fucking good.
You know, and even though, like you said, you didn't like how Tony Stark made his costume.
Yep.
I'm okay with it because they had his makeshift costume that you saw in clips in Civil War, and then you see it, and I said one of the things I liked about this was that it was the reverse, because every other origin movie, he's got the shit costume, but he gets the good costume at the end, because now he's the real hero. Now, it's the reverse. He's the real hero without the great costume. Mm-hmm. He's got his, like, socks and underwear suit with the goggles that he made himself, right? Yeah. And the webbing he made himself. All of that stuff he did himself. And it actually makes it better. Mm-hmm. So that when you see him in the suit at the end shot, after he turns down the Iron Spider suit, which at the time I didn't like, but now I actually think looks pretty cool.
I gotta see it more. Besides a few trailers we've seen, but
it feels earned because it's still like if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it. Well, now he deserves it, but it works so well. Even the scene where, and I was sold on him all the way through the movie. Mm-hmm. Even when you're like looking at it and you're trying to say, "Hey, buddy, Peter, seriously, Tony's a fucking asshole right now. Don't try to be like him. Yeah. Be better, but be like Captain America or whatever other cool guy that you want to be like." The scene where the rubble's on him and he's fucking crying. He's not like, well, I'm fucked. He's literally like just crying because he can't get it up, and it's just phrasing. He's just like crying because he's a fucking kid. And he's doing things that no other kid's ever done, and he's freaking out, and then finally, yes, he does have the image of Tony Stark, but he ultimately does the thing, and I've seen it in the comic books a bunch of times, where it's over, he's down and out, he's under the rubble, and then finally he just digs deep, and I'm not always a fan of, say, and I realize why they do it, but they always have Spider-Man without his mask off.
Yeah.
Always. But this was one of those scenes where I'm like, it works. Yeah. It's better without the mask because you see it. It's unabashed crying because he's a fucking kid, and then he goes out and saves the day. You're just like, fuck, wow.
No, there's definitely a lot. There's good parts in this movie. Yeah. It's not a bad movie. I don't hate this movie.
No.
It's just not the Spider-Man I wanted from Marvel Studios. It's... He looks awesome.
What you're saying. I get what you're saying.
The suit looks awesome. See, the suit looks amazing.
And I'm not a big fan of when they changed the suit.
Yeah.
Like, because when you see the original Spider-Man movies of Tobey Maguire,
that's a great suit.
They looked great.
I honestly, I think the best suit was Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
Best suit was Amazing Spider-Man 2 until this one. But, like, because you're saying, well, I mean, like, and I like it when Peter Parker creates his own suit. Mm-hmm. But when you see the suits in real, like, in the movies, like, well, Tobey Maguire's had, like, really thick threading for the webbing.
Yep.
And I'm like, how's a kid going to do that?
Yeah. Makes no sense.
That doesn't make any sense. Even though these Amazing Spider-Man costumes were better, you're still, like, and they have the montage of him creating the suit, it's still just like, yeah, but really, how is he going to get it like that? Mm-hmm. You know, this is a kid who's a dorky nerd, but he's also a fashion designer as well. So in this case, I'm okay with Tony taking the suit that he made on his own and going, okay, we'll keep the color scheme, but we'll add a shit ton of tech in it and go from there. To the point where I don't even mind this black thread, or like, this is just a fashion choice.
Yeah.
But it works. I think it looks great.
I don't mind that. I think that looks pretty cool. And if it would have been Tony going, we're going to provide you with a suit that was just something more armored for protection, things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe some wings so he could soar, you know, like under the armpits.
Yeah.
Simple things like that. The whole fucking, you know, the woman talking in his head and him seeing everything in Iron Man vision and apparently death mode being programmed into his suit.
I didn't like kill mode, even though like it was funny the first time.
Yeah.
But afterwards I was like, okay, well why would
that even be in there?
Yeah, why would Tony have that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Hey, you're a kid. I'm going to put kill mode in your suit that might accidentally pop up one day.
Yeah.
You're going to murder a bunch of people.
When the training wheels protocol is lifted,
now
you're going to have access to this. I thought that was annoying. I didn't like how they had the different modes for the webbing, and they played that for laughs.
Yeah.
A couple of times. It wasn't just a one-shot deal. Because again, like you're leaning into the more of the Tony stuff, where you're just like, just let him be Spider-Man. Let him do that.
Exactly.
You know?
And I mean, like, it's disappointing because Tom Holland is the best at playing Peter and Spider-Man.
Exactly.
But he doesn't get the opportunity to actually be the fucking Spider-Man.
Until the end.
Until the end.
Until the end.
When
but
the fucking
you're robbed
tech
of it
is off.
because you don't see him in the costume.
Exactly.
Which, and I like that they didn't do that, but at the same time...
At the same time, I'm okay with it because who's Spider? Like, he's inside. He's Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
It's not the suit. It's the guy inside
and
the suit.
That's where he gets it. But I mean, none of this would have meant nearly as much without the end, like third quarter of the movie twist, where because we knew Michael Keaton was Vulture.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that. We saw the screenshots.
Yeah.
We were like, holy fuck. He's wearing the helmet, the glowing eyes. It looks crazy awesome.
Yeah.
It looks way cooler than the iconic costume. Okay?
Oh, Vulture looks amazing.
I would have lost my mind if I saw the iconic costume in the Sam Raimi trilogy. I would have thought that's the coolest fucking shit ever.
Yeah.
And then I would have saw this and I would have been like, that's better. That is way
that
better.
That is better, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But my favorite part is because we knew that his daughter was in the movie. But we were told that it was actually going to be the MJ character.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that it was actually Liz. Liz was the daughter, and I remember when he answered the door, because Peter Parker is going to the homecoming dance with Liz, and fucking... Is his name actually Adrian in the movie? Because his real name's Adrian Toomes, I think.
Yeah, it's Adrian Toomes.
Yeah. But so then, when you see Michael Keaton answer the door, I remember being in the theater and everyone was like, "Oh."
I thought MJ was his daughter in the movie.
We were told beforehand.
I thought he went to get her.
No, we were told beforehand in the lead up to this movie that MJ was his daughter.
Yeah.
When you actually watch the movie and you realize that Liz, they faked us out.
I gotta rewatch it because, like, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm thinking he went to get MJ, and Adrian Toomes was MJ's father.
Nope. Because see, the thing is that we don't even know her name is MJ until the end of the movie.
Well, she calls herself MJ the whole movie. It's the end of the movie where she goes Mary Jane.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's MJ all the way through. That part was annoying, actually.
That was annoying. It was a stupid...
It was their attempt at having their cake and eating it, too, by saying,
yeah,
it's MJ, Mary Jane, but not the one that you really think it is. But I actually like the fake out.
Marvel being a part of this, it's just fucking weird.
Yeah, but I love the fake out, because I remember sitting in the theater, and all of us were like, whoa.
And that was an intense fucking car ride to the prom, too.
The whole sequence, the second that he opens the door, everyone in the audience is like, whoa. And you don't ever bounce back from that whoa feeling because you're just like, holy shit. Mm. You are just like Peter in that scenario where you're like, what the fuck is he going to do?
Yeah.
What is going to happen here? And he's cool. He's like, hey, Pedro, I'm going to be dad jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that car ride where suddenly he's just like... Oh, wait, hold on. you were there, but you weren't there, but Spider-Man was there, and you know Spider-Man? Okay, and then you feel it, and then the shift happens, he's like, oh, I'm gonna do the dad talk. She's like, ugh. Goes in, and then he leans over with a gun, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Just walk away, and everything's fine. If you don't, I will kill everyone.
Yeah.
And you're just, whoa. Because, and this is where you still get behind him, because all he's ever done is to make sure that his family is taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's why he wanted to be under the radar. That's why he killed the first Shocker, which was hilarious, too.
Yeah.
The Shocker! The Shocker! Then he kills him. Oh, I just wanted to scare him.
And now you're the Shocker.
And then he goes, you're the Shocker now. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was great.
You know? But yeah, like, even though, like, he didn't ever want to kill the guy, but he realized in retrospect, well, I had to. But, okay, doesn't blink afterward. He's like, well, you're the Shocker now. Okay, go back to business, and now everything's going to be great. The whole reason why he didn't want to do the high altitude one was because it's too big.
Yeah.
But now, well, he's out. FBI knows about him. Tony Stark knows about him. So he has to do this one big last score so he can fade off in the distance. You know? But I also love at the end when he's in jail and they're like, hey, heard you knew who Spider-Man was. And he goes, no. And you're like, nice. He saved his daughter.
I like that.
He saved his daughter. So at the end of the day, he's like, okay, this is it. I feel like after this, though, they're even.
They're even. All bets are off now.
Fucked my life up. Saved my daughter.
Yeah.
Now we're good.
Yeah.
Because afterwards, it's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, so if it wasn't for such a great villain, I don't think it would have been as impactful. Because some of that stuff is just too glaring. Like, you can't tell me that nobody was sitting there going like, hey, Tony, I looked at the pre-shipment, and this is the manifest.
Yeah.
Post-shipment, we're light. We're missing some stuff here. And for 8 years, like, no one's building a case. No, like, Tony Stark is not.
Well, what about the fucking drivers and stuff? Hey, some guy with wings came after me.
Yeah, I was looking in the rearview mirror, and some guy with wings was flying around, but then he disappeared.
Yeah.
We're
short half the truck. There was a guy with wings. Yeah. But whatever, let's just keep moving on.
You know what, Bill? Maybe we don't mention anything because we don't want Tony Stark to get mad at us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I mean...
It's a pretty big hole.
I've watched the movie a ton of times. I do overall really, really like it for this, like, even just something as simple as that's the brightest that costume has ever been.
Yep.
Even in the Amazing Spider-Man ones, and it's brighter in those ones, this is still the brightest it's ever been.
Yep. It's a bright costume.
You know, and I popped hard for that when you actually got to see a bright blue and red Superman, and it was the same with that too. I was just like, oh man, this is so great.
Yeah.
I hope and pray that the sequel is standing more on its own feet.
Me too. I don't even want happy in it. I want it just to
I agree. Like, I feel like
Spider-Man movie.
Especially because after Infinity War, that's the other thing. Like, while I admit now I'm glad, like, I'm happy that he's wearing the Iron Spider suit because it makes sense in the context of this movie, but I hope that that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to see him constantly wearing the suit. I want him to go back to that suit because that's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he has access to it for when the stakes are high, okay, that's fine. That works for me. Because in action, the suit does look cooler, but I don't want to see him in armor all the time.
Yeah.
You know, especially because I hate the Iron Spider name.
Yeah, I hope the Iron Spider is a one and done.
I hope they don't even call him Iron Spider. I heard a rumor that they were going to call him Iron Spider in this movie.
Oh, guaranteed.
And I hope that they don't.
It's already on the toy packaging, Iron Spider.
I just hope they don't call him that in the movie. Or if they do, he literally goes, hey, I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, because I do like that even though...
Well, he does call himself Spider-Man in that scene with Doctor Strange.
Which I was just about to say, because I love that part where it's just like, oh, we're using our made-up names? Well, then I'm Spider-Man.
So maybe it'll just be like people watching from the distance going, oh, the Iron Spider or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be like a one and done just because this alien invasion shit's happening.
Well, if you look at the trailers, the way the trailers sort of line up, it's he's wearing parts of his old costume when he's on the alien ship,
Yeah.
And then after that, you only ever see him in the suit. So I feel like it's one of those where Tony's like, "No, you need this."
Yeah. Now you need it because he refuses it at the end of
Which
this
I loved.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it because when we were getting to that part, they show the costume, and I was like, "Fuck no,
like, ugh.
no."
You're not Iron Man enough already.
In movement, the suit does look better, but I was like, "Don't do it."
Mm.
And then when it's just like, you know what? No, you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home. And then they have that scene where you find out that Happy's the reason why.
Yeah.
I was like, that is great. Like, I love that he was just like, you know what? No, I'm good.
Mm.
And then he's gifted the suit later.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
That's how it should be.
And then you get the greatest scene ever where May catches him in the suit and goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he cuts the credits.
You know, and yeah, sure, that's similar to when Tony Stark goes, "Fuck it, I'm Iron Man."
Yeah.
You know, which was awesome. I don't care what anyone says, it was great, but I love this scene because I kind of like the idea of May knowing that he's Peter Parker, and I think that's because I liked in the comic books where when she originally died, and she said, "Come on, you lived with me forever. I knew you were Spider-Man. Why do you think I hated him so much?"
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful, and I cried when they killed her off that way, and I was mad when they brought her back, because I was like, that was such a beautiful ending.
Mm-hmm.
But even in the Ultimates, you know, when it comes out and they have the talk, and it's that talking episode of the Ultimate Spider-Man, and even that's amazing, because she's just like she's having a hard time dealing with the fact that he's a fucking kid,
Mm-hmm.
and he's putting himself in these situations because he didn't save Uncle Ben. And then, of course, it leads to the ultimate death where you're just like, I couldn't save Ben, but I saved you, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm gonna fucking cry, like, right now, because
Yeah.
every time I'm just like, that is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, having her know, I think, is great, because, again, we don't have to do the hiding. And that's another thing I didn't like with the Amazing Spider-Man ones, where the hiding of it from her was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was really dumb, and I was like, ugh, fuck off already. Like, so
None
now,
of this shit.
but yeah, so, like, overall, I think it's a great depiction of Spider-Man, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the better movies, because even though Andrew Garfield, or the Amazing Spider-Man movies, did better stuff with the costume in the second movie, they're still not great Spider-Man movies.
No, they're not. They're at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, even Spider-Man 3 is my least favorite out of all of them, and the Amazing Spider-Man movies are below that movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like they got too much wrong by trying to do two different.
The first Amazing was okay at times with the lizard. The second one, though, was just awful.
It was okay you're right, okay at times with the lizard.
Yeah.
But the second one was just,
I don't know what they were thinking with that. They were planning the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
There was too much in that movie. There was too much, and then they rebooted it, and now they got all these fucking plot threads hanging there.
Yeah.
So.
But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
So that's Homecoming.
Yeah, that's Homecoming.
I don't own the next two, so we're just gonna chat about them.
That's right. That's right.
Thor Ragnarok is next. And speaking of gods,
Bless me.
bless you.
So Thor Ragnarok. Okay, so right out of the gates, anyone who's watched our previous camcasts know how we feel about the Thor movies. This is the first time where I can say that I really, really liked Thor Ragnarok when I watched it in the theater. I do feel it is one of the best Thor movies, but conversely, having one of the worst depictions of Thor in any presentation I've seen of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst. I know a lot of people like this movie because it is hilarious. It is a fucking genuinely funny movie.
You know what? It's well made and it's hilarious. It's a great movie. A bad Thor movie.
I still can't get over how bad of a Thor movie this is. Like, we've joked about it a couple of times, but he really is a fucking he's Tony Stark as Thor.
He's even more sarcastic. He's just like, I don't know what the fuck they did with him.
Like I said it before, where he's this douchebag jock character.
Yeah.
You know, and like in the first movie, he is a douchebag jock character. He's the guy that can do no wrong. His parents think he's great. And then when he does finally fuck up, his dad's like, okay, that's enough. You gotta go to Earth. You gotta learn a lesson. So he does learn that lesson. So then when you see him in Avengers and in Thor 2, and then in Avengers 2, everything that he does after that works because he was humbled. He loves Earth or Midgard. He doesn't want anyone to get hurt. He's now becoming more like his father in the sense that now you could see him being the All-Father because he's got all of the... It's not just about him and his renown and his praise and everyone going, yeah, Thor's the greatest. It's not about that. It's about doing the right thing, you know? And you get that because, of course, he's now hanging out with Thor, or sorry, Captain America, and even, you know, Tony Stark, but all the other Avengers are now feeding into this, you know? So then, to get to Thor Ragnarok, and not only do we do a 180, so now he's back to being the douchebag jock, but they've also put in elements of, like, almost like he's like a child. Like he's a fucking he's a man child, and it's not even funny. Like I remember a couple of times right at the beginning with Suter, where you know it was kind of funny because he was
first
wrapped up in the chains and he was slowly doing the turnaround, and I thought that was kind of funny. But then eventually I got to a point where I was just like, but you're not Thor. You're not acting like Thor. You know, I remember the one part where he's talking to the Hulk, and he's going, no, hey, Banner, Banner's a loser. He's a dork. You're the greatest. You're the guy. And then later talking to Banner, and it's the 180. He's like, oh, I don't like the Hulk. I've always liked you. You're the guy. You're the greatest. Hulk is just Hulk. Blah, blah. And I was just like, ugh. Like, oh. You know, part of it was I didn't like that they co-opted the Planet Hulk storyline and mashed Thor into it. But it works. It works. It works really totally well. But like the character arc with the Hulk and Banner was great. You know, there was nothing wrong there. I thought that was great because even the Banner bits at humor was funny. The Hulk parts at humor were hilarious. Like the part where you know he's talking about how he's a flame and Thor's like, well, I'm a big flame too. He's like, no, like Hulk's big, like raging fire, like you're like small flame. I was like, that's hilarious because Thor's now trying to be like, no, I'm cool too, and Hulk's just like, no, you're not. You're not fucking cool at all. The fight scene, the gladiator fight scene was great.
The fight scene was amazing.
It was really great,
and it finally had me go, yeah, there we go, Thor beat Hulk. Which pumped me up, because in my heart, I always knew Thor would beat Hulk. I got a little taste of it in Avengers. That scene in Avengers is the part in that film that it excited me the most, was the Thor-Hulk fight on the show.
And I love the punch, too, just...
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, like, it was... Because I like Hulk more than Thor, I liked that they did it in a way that it didn't cheapen Hulk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because now you got the new aspect to his powers. So you're like, okay, all right, let's explore that. But even just like, everything about the movie that I don't like is tied to Thor. And Thor alone.
Yeah.
Okay? Everything I like about this movie is still tied to Thor. Like Valkyrie, I thought was great.
Valkyrie was awesome. It was a very cool take on her.
Awesome. And I love the take on the Valkyries in general.
Yes.
How it's an all-woman squad.
Yeah. And
then she's the only one that lived, and she isn't happy with it because she didn't die with them.
Yep.
And now she's a hired gun, essentially.
Yeah, a drunk.
A drunk hired gun,
yep.
And she's like awesome in this movie.
She is.
She's
great.
And even
Tessa Thompson, so good in this
even
movie.
Like the aspects where like you could, I had a feeling that they were gonna hook up. But I like that they didn't officially hook up at all, but you could still see it.
Yeah, you can see it.
I kind of was hoping that Valkyrie was going to hook up with Hulk, though.
That would have been funny.
That would have been
And
fun.
I would have been all right with that.
I'd have been all right with that. The Loki character, I thought it was one of the few times where Thor was actually smart in this movie. Where when he nailed Loki before Loki could nail him, and he was like, yeah, well, we've done this before, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, that's actually really smart. If we had more of that Thor, I would have been a lot happier.
Yeah.
It was just later on when all of a sudden it was just like using Loki as the decoy type of thing against his will and just basically being a douchebag again, where I was like, what?
Yeah. You
have this splash of brilliance here, which makes sense with the character, but then you just throw it away for this over-the-top Joker, who I could care less at this point if he wins or loses. I want him to win just because Hulk gets to win, Valkyrie gets to win, all these other characters get to win, I do have to say, though, the scene where they say goodbye to Odin is great.
That's a beautiful scene.
It's absolutely great.
That's a great scene.
They all play it perfectly.
They held back on the stupidity. They gave,
each of them got
a nice goodbye to Odin.
Yeah, nice goodbye to Odin. Okay, so one of my favorite characters I'm going to touch upon, but I have to talk about how amazing Hela. She was amazing.
She is so fucking good in this movie. Kate Blanchett
killed it.
Wow.
Killed it.
I honestly, after Ragnarok, I thought a lot after Ragnarok. Like, that is probably one of the Marvel movies I thought the most after watching.
Me too.
It's because I was so just torn fucking apart about it. Because it's so good, yet I hate Thor in it. Yet Hela may very well be one of my favorite Marvel villains.
I'm going to have to say...
She might even be my favorite.
She's going to be hard to beat because visually, she looks really close to the comics.
She looked awesome.
What I loved was they gave her a helmet, but it depended on the situation. When she's in battle, she's got the whole crazy...
She goes like this.
Hela
and
helmet.
Just fucking grows out.
And then when she's like trying to make a point, no Hela suit, and it just... I even love the fact that... Because in comic books, she has no ties to... Like, she's not brothers or sisters with anyone.
No, she's not related to them at all.
She's an Asgardian, or she's the...
she's like the...
ruler of the underworld or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
She's not quite Mephisto, but she's in the same league type of thing. But I like that this is a long-lost sibling. I liked that. I liked that she was horrible. like Odin was like, yeah, we had a really good run being total fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But then she was taking it too far, so I had to get rid of her. And now you're kind of like, okay, well, that's a douchey move. But he saw the light, and she couldn't see the light, so he had to get rid of her.
Yeah.
And her coming back was... Every time she was on screen, I was like, wow.
I know.
Wow. Even though the Warriors 3 got absolutely shat on.
Oh, wow. We're going to hop to that quickly?
Just because, aside from it, every other scene she's in is just a magic.
That pissed me off so much.
I was really mad in Sif not being in the movie or even referenced.
Yeah, not referenced. Okay, so the Warriors 3, Thor's best fucking friends. They're in the first movie a lot. They're in the second movie a lot. He fights alongside them. Best friends, warriors together, everything. They get murdered immediately.
First of all...
Not even a fucking, like...
First of all, Thor's never even seen with him.
No. He doesn't see... When he comes back to Asgard, he doesn't even wonder where they are.
He doesn't even bring it up. And nobody says anything. He doesn't even assume they're dead.
Yeah.
Because they're not with him. Or even Hemdale.
Yeah.
Hemdale doesn't even go, hey, by the way, your buddies are dead. So there's nothing. He doesn't care.
There's nothing. Not even a mention of, like, when they're flying away and Asgard's getting destroyed, like, thank God Sif's on Midgard right now or something.
Yeah. Thank God Sif's not here. And let's raise a drink to our fallen friends.
Yes.
Nothing. He doesn't give a fuck at all. And
No.
these are like his brothers in arms. They were brothers in arms when he was a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
They were still like, yeah, all right, cool, we'll ride with you.
Yeah.
But nothing.
And nothing.
Like,
they just get annihilated in seconds.
I'm fine with them dying. I didn't like it, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm okay with it, you know?
But two of their deaths were off screen. Doesn't she arrive and then
no, the two deaths are quick. They're very quick, and it's only the one guy who actually
Hogan. He gets a good fight.
He gets to give a good fight, but the first two are gone. Like,
they're gone, like
just like that. Yeah, like that part really.
I really felt like they already got rid of Natalie Portman.
Yep.
Obviously because of the whole thing. But Jane Foster's a huge character in the comics. She actually
she
just finished being Thor.
And she dies of cancer.
Yeah. So like a quick little mention that they broke up or something in the movie there.
Yeah. Not like it's complicated in Avengers 2.
Kind of crappy, but at least they kind of mentioned it. For the Warriors 3 and Sif not getting like for him to not even give a fuck about them.
Yeah. It's just
so
another
mad.
aspect where I'm just like, see, like it's the worst Thor character. Mm-hmm. It's the worst version of Thor ever. And the worst part is that's the most marketable Thor.
Yeah.
So this is the Thor that we're gonna get in Infinity War.
Oh yeah, this is it.
You know, like now I have expected him to be high-fiving people and going like, "Good job, guys! We fucking saved the world!"
Slapping Cap in the ass or something.
Yeah.
Yay.
Or like playing with his dead body, like, "Oh, everybody, he's alive!"
Yeah.
Like, so maddening.
Oh man.
So maddening. Now, okay, so I mentioned one of my favorite characters, Keurig. One of my favorite characters. The Rock.
Oh yeah, Keurig. Who is played by the director.
Scene he's in, I'm losing my mind. I'm laughing so hard.
And that's great. He's a comedic character. Fine, you had the comedy relief. Why does everyone have to be a fucking idiot?
Yeah, I mean, you had Jeff Goldblum as the Collector, and he's Goldblum, so he's awesome. He's Goldbluming it up like crazy, and you're still just like, oh my god. Even at the end where he's just like, he's like all the revolutionaries are now like surrounding him, and he's just like, oh hey, yeah, everything's cool. Yeah, that's all part of the plan. Yes, let's get back to worshiping me. No, crap.
Yeah.
You know, like he's great. But again, comedic. You don't need. Not everyone has to be comedic.
Exactly.
Valkyrie is played relatively straight through the whole movie.
Relatively throws a couple jokes in, but they're natural jokes.
They're not so much jokes as little ball busters.
Right.
Which work for her.
Which work.
You know, because she's like, look, you're a douchebag jock. I'm going to slap you in the nuts.
But
you know?
You got Thor joking, you got Hulk joking, you got Banner joking.
Yep.
Hulk and Banner are both joking. Loki's pretty fucking retarded in this too.
Loki's stupid. And this is one of the weaker versions of Loki.
This is the first time where I'm just kind of like, Loki didn't even need to be in this movie.
Yeah, especially because like...
But then he would have died off screen. So, hey...
Well, yeah, especially because, like, you had the ending of The Dark World where he's fake Odin, and you're like, oh my god.
That was a great end.
Oh my
disappointing as Dark World was.
Almost immediately they undo it. Now, sure, the scene with Matt Damon and Sam Neill is fucking hilarious.
That was really funny.
That was really funny, and it played up to Loki being this egomaniac that would want people to literally be like, you're the greatest Odin ever, right? And we're going to retroactively say Loki was amazing too, so it works, but it was so quickly undone that I was like, fuck. Oh, man, I really hate Thor in this movie. I really hate Thor, and it's just terrible because I like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
He's good in the movie because like he's doing the same thing he's done everything else. This is the script. Okay, I'm gonna be the best that I can be. So he's really good. But it's just the worst Thor ever.
I mean, he lost everything that made him Thor in this. Like, he lost the personality.
Even when he screamed about his hair, I was like, no fucking way.
Lost the hair. Now, the hair is probably, I like Thor with long hair, but the hair is the least... They can knock that out on him and like, okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world because at least they did have plenty of scenes of the newer version of his helmet, which I thought was really
which
cool.
is fine. Yeah, we got to see the helmet. I was all right.
It wasn't the original one.
Yeah.
But it was still close enough that I was like, okay, great.
Destroyed the hammer.
Which
I thought really upset me actually.
Here's the part that I hated though. They destroyed the hammer and then made it a non-issue. Mm-hmm. Destroy the hammer, but have it so he can remake it, but don't put this whole thing where it's like that lame old, you always had it in you.
Yeah.
You didn't need the hammer. It was always in you.
Yeah.
And I flat out rolled my fucking eyes. And I don't care. That fight scene where they had Led Zeppelin ripping it up in the background and he's fighting and he's all lightening up. Awesome. Looked absolutely cool. And I love that that's how he beat the Hulk too. Like I said, it's still just... You can't have Captain America without the shield. Even though, you know, he's Captain America regardless.
You're going to get him without the shield.
You need him with the shield.
Yeah.
You need Thor with the hammer. Not Stormbringer or Gangborn or whatever they want to call it. The ultimate version. Yeah. You know, especially because Stormbringer is better Ray Bill's hammer.
Captain America punched the hammer in Age of Ultron.
And now we'll never get the
scene
scene
wanted to see him lift the fucking
where he lifts it up, goes to take it to Thanos, and dies that way.
That would have fucking just... Oh.
Because, like, okay, if they make Stormbreaker or Springer or whatever they want to call it, there's still not that if you're worthy, you can lift this. It's now just a heavy hammer that Thor can lift. Yeah. Big fucking deal. So, at the end of the day...
And then they got rid of his eye.
And they got rid of his eye. That's right.
He looks nothing like Thor anymore. His personality of Thor is gone.
There's only, like, fleeting moments where you feel like it's how Thor should be. Yeah. But they're so fleeting that you're just like, why would you even put them in there?
I just want to call him Jock Odin now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Jock Odin.
Jock Odin.
You're not Thor. I know who Thor is. You're not Thor.
Yeah, like, if there's ever a case for secret invasion and Thor's a Skrull, this is it. this is it right here. Because, fuck, like, and I mean, like, the movie is the best Thor movie. Like I said, I cannot say that enough. It is the best Thor movie, period. Terrible Thor. Terrible Thor. And that's all I gotta say. I can't say anything else. I love everything about this movie except for Thor.
Which is really weird, right?
It's the weirdest thing to say.
Everything. I love it. Best Thor movie, worst Thor.
It makes absolutely no sense. Like, at some point I should just be like, it's the worst actor playing Thor, but it's the same actor.
Oh, by the way, Doctor Strange.
Oh, yes!
The scene with Doctor Strange,
awesome.
Both of us said this. We're like, that guy should have directed the Doctor Strange movie. Yeah. Because the energy in that scene with Doctor Strange, beautiful. He's
still the pretentious douchebag. Yep. But I was laughing, and I was like, okay, this Doctor Strange.
That's Doctor Strange.
This Doctor Strange, I can get behind.
And honestly, the guy who directed, Scott Derrickson, who did Doctor Strange, I think he could make a better Thor movie. Those two guys would have switched places. Yep. It would have been good.
Yeah, like, it's just so weird. Just so weird, and that's really all I gotta say about
that's Thor Ragnarok. I'm sure whoever watches this is probably going to...
We'll get lit up.
They're going to disagree with us.
Because like I said, it's the most marketable Thor ever.
It's so bad that Thor and this had to be back-to-back, because they're like, Ken, you're a fucking idiot.
But
now we can talk about Black Panther, and I'm excited for this one, because we haven't talked about it yet.
This is the first time that we've ever discussed Black Panther. We didn't see it in the theater together.
My camera better be fucking rolling.
Okay? But here's the thing. Yeah. So, I absolutely fucking love this movie.
Me too.
I thought it was one of the better superhero movies that I've seen. Yes, it's a template movie. Okay?
Template movie.
But there's so much great shit in here that I never... Like, I know it's a template movie. I can tell you right now, without even ever seeing the movie, I could have told you the beats that they're going to do to get him to where it is and be fairly accurate with it. But the world building is amazing. I loved that
they had there was so much to do in this movie. They could have went either way.
I love that this is a 98% black movie. That I never once was like, geez, can I
and
see
who's the 2%?
The Tolkien white guys.
Tolkien white guys.
But at no point in time was I like hung up on that fact, because I was just like,
I didn't even pay attention to the color of skin in this movie.
No.
I loved the fucking character. I don't pay attention to color of skin.
I generally don't, but like this is a movie where thing to do. They were screaming it from the mountains. Like, yeah. And you know what? Great.
Awesome. I'm happy. You know what? Honestly, my opinion when Black Panther passed Avengers at the box office, it became the biggest Marvel movie of all time. I was like, that's weird. Because
it is really weird.
It's Black Panther.
But you know what?
But at the same time, I'm really fucking happy and I'm really fucking proud.
I'm so...
Because this shows that, you know, Well, I mean, Marvel could take any character now and basically make a hit of it.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm actually glad that they took Black Panther and and it is as huge as it is. I'm glad because
I think it deserves it.
Like I said with Spider-Man: Homecoming, one of the reasons why the character spoke so much to me because he didn't have a conventional parent, and neither did I. So that spoke to me. But for me, you look at any superhero and it's a white guy. So immediately, like, you can pretty much identify with every other white guy.
And if there's a black guy, they're a sidekick to a white guy.
Yeah, you know, and so like, even, like, in the case where, so Bruce Wayne, I'm not super rich, but I'm still a white guy, so I can still identify to that degree. I love that they had that scene at the end of the movie where the kid is looking up at Black Panther going,
Me too. That was a great scene.
You look like me. Like, I mean, like, I love that. Like, it's like one of the reasons why I love Wolverine so much was because the guy in the comic books was 5'3".
Yeah, exactly.
And Canadian. And I'm like, man, I love that because I can, like, I'm short and he kicks ass and he's short and Canadian. And,
together we are Wolverine. You got the height, I got the body hair.
That's right.
Both Canadian.
You know, and we both kick ass. Hey. You know, so so that was one of the things that I loved because now I can feel like, now, other characters, like, other kids can grow up and looking at superheroes and go, man, I can get behind Black Panther because he looks like me. I could be like him, or I could be like his sister. His sister was great, Shuri.
Shuri was awesome.
She was so great.
The whole supporting cast was awesome.
Everything in this movie. One of my favorite things was that. So she's younger than everyone there. She's smarter than everyone there.
Yeah.
Nobody ever gives her a hard time.
Yeah.
They just accept it. It just it is what it is. The women. His elite squad are all women.
Yeah.
And nobody bats an eye. It is what it is. You know? Even the fact that this is, it's not even that it's a black movie. It's a blatantly black movie.
Oh,
I read an interview where they were talking about how, they had afros and curls in their hair and stuff like that. And one of the, women, I can't remember what her name was, but she literally was like, well, if you look at that goes back to colonial times when white men showed up and took over Africa and then said, your hair needs to be straight. Wakanda never had that. They never had the colonial aspect. We were allowed to just live our lives the way we wanted to based on our heritage, and that was it. And that's why you see that stuff. And I was like, that is a fucking great answer because you're right. White people went in and be like, oh, your hair's like that? We got to straighten that shit out.
Yeah. We
got to straighten that shit out. Yeah. It's bad enough you got dark skin, you know? And it's like, whoa, this is so fucking crazy that's the answer.
What a fucking history. Like,
everything
blows my mind.
You know what I love? Right at the beginning where, you know, it's that rescue mission.
Yeah.
And they're like, literally
awesome
like,
scene. Awesome.
Don't freeze when you see her. I'm not going to freeze. And then it's like, he froze. Yeah. They're busting his ass. He's the king.
Yeah. He's
the Black Panther.
Yeah.
But they're still busting his balls because, you know what, you're still the guy we fucking grew up with, so eat shit every once in a while. And there's none of this, like, he doesn't posture or anything. He doesn't try to really assert himself. He just is, and that's what he does. You know? Killmonger. What the fuck? Why did you kill him off?
Right. I love the way they ended his character arc, but wow, he was so good. It was great. I love the line where he's just like, it's like, throw me in the ocean. Because, like, I want to be with those smart ones that drowned in the ocean rather than be on their knees or something like that in bondage. And I was like, I honestly wish I would have remembered that line perfectly, because I was like, man, like, it sucks to see you go, but what a way to go. Yeah, you know, like, he was the villain of the film, but so many times I was like, I get behind what he's saying. Yeah, I understand where he's coming from. It's like it's kind of like Law-Abiding Citizen, because we mentioned that in one version of our previous part, but like where you start off going like, okay, yeah, like I get it, but then towards the end of the movie he does the switch where he's like, I'm just gonna fuck the world up because you fucked my world up. You know, then you're like, okay, all right, now I'm done with you. Yeah, we're too far now. Too far. You're taking it too far. I knew where you're coming from, but now I can't get behind what you're doing. You know, and sure, when he shows up to reclaim, like, to get a shot at the Black Panther, you knew he was going to win. You knew he was going to win, and
that
I
part
knew
is
he's
a weak
going to
part.
fall down. He's going to wash away. In a lot of ways, it has the same beats as The Lion King.
Yeah, I remember I came across a couple of
You know, like
memes, and
Simba.
when I finally
takes
watched
off
it,
and-
I was like, yeah, it really does. But
It
then
really
again,
does.
Lion King was an amazing movie.
Lion King is, to this day, still my favorite cartoon of all time. I can't wait for the live action film.
Yeah,
John
I actually
Fav-
gotta say,
John
I gotta
Favreau's
say,
directing
like,
it.
I mean, but yeah, so like getting back to at first when I saw the trailers and they had the purple trim
Mm-hmm.
around it, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Same here.
But then when they explained why, I was like, okay, I'm okay with it. But ultimately, I still don't like it.
Right.
Because I kind of like the black and the silver color scheme. That was one of the things I liked too when they're looking at the different suits. And he looked at the gold one. And he literally was like, but then he was like, yeah, but it's got to be a little bit more covert.
Yeah.
You know, so he's still just like he just tempered. But then Killmonger immediately went gold.
Yeah.
And then fucked it up so that he had his own little face mask and everything. And I was just like, I don't know how he did it, but I was still like, I never questioned it because he was played up as a really smart guy all the way through.
Oh, so smart.
You know?
It's crazy, and it's such a crazy flip too that you think Claw's going to be the big bad guy of the movie.
But they kill off both of his big bad guys.
Yeah.
And Claw was great.
Yeah, they killed off both.
I didn't like how they killed off. I didn't even like that they killed off. I would have preferred if both of them stayed alive.
Yeah.
But they killed them both off, so I was like, I don't know. And this is a movie that's definitely getting a sequel.
Oh yeah.
You know? But I guess, and I mean, like, now that you have Bucky as the White Wolf, you don't have that storyline either.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the White Wolf is supposed to be some random white guy that ended up in Wakanda and was raised by T'Chaka. But then when T'Challa was born, he's like, well, I'm never going to be the Black Panther, so he became the White Wolf, and now is a bad guy. You don't have that storyline because Bucky's the White Wolf.
Yeah, Bucky.
Which is still cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
It's still cool, but still just kind of like, That's probably the one thing where I'm just like, I don't like the White Wolf.
Yeah.
I don't like it. He's either Bucky, Winter Soldier, or Cap. But,
Yeah.
like, I feel like because he's past the Winter Soldier stuff, he's either just Bucky or Cap.
Just Bucky.
You know, right now he doesn't have to be anything other than Bucky.
Yeah.
That's a great name. You know? The fight scenes.
The fight scenes were awesome. The hand-to-hand was amazing.
The hand-to-hand was really good.
M'Baku?
Yes.
M'Baku?
Yes.
That fight between the two of them, the first fight, so good.
So
Awesome.
great. But I liked it later on where he's just like, there was a couple of jokes about him being a vegetarian. And we're vegetarians. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
We'll eat your children or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, but then he's begrudgingly helping him because he realizes that while he wanted to be king,
Mm-hmm.
he definitely doesn't want this guy to be king.
Yeah.
You know, and even just, like, even the part where, like, yeah, sure, like, you saw him losing and you saw T'Challa being knocked off the waterfall.
Mhm.
It still had to happen because he had to say, okay, I need to be the Black Panther without the Black Panther stuff.
Yeah.
So then, of course, when they fight again, you know he's going to win. I have to say, though, I didn't like the final fight scene with him and Killmonger as much.
Oh, with like the trains and shit shooting by
Yeah.
and everything? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, visually, it did look pretty cool, but it was still kind of, like, the CGI was kind of a letdown in that part there. Especially because you still had the stereotypical Marvel fight where there's a lot of stuff going on there, and then the two are just having their own, like,
Yeah.
dark mirror fight.
Yeah.
But that fight was really badly choreographed, which is disappointing because every other fight prior to that was great. It was absolutely great. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's still, like, even though, like I said, like, it's a paint-by-numbers Marvel movie, what they did within the paint-by-numbers is amazing.
It's the first movie that Adrian walked out of and said, I want to watch that again in the theater.
Yeah, I can see
She's
that.
never said that after another Marvel movie. But that one was just like, I want to watch that one again.
Yeah, like
And
Michelle
I was
was
like-
like, I
I was like-
absolutely want to watch this
I was
movie.
like,
And I'm like,
hell yeah.
I can't wait for you to watch this movie.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a movie like I feel like that's a movie where I could show up with kids that are both a boy and a girl and be like, you're gonna love this movie.
Oh, for
because
sure.
it's something for everyone.
Some women are so badass in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, so awesome.
Like, I mean, it's like Wonder Woman. You can walk into Wonder Woman with a little boy and a little girl and go, you're going to love this movie.
Yeah.
And you're going to come out of it going, yeah, that's great. And that is transcendent, and I love that aspect. And I did not think that this was going to be that movie.
I didn't. I mean...
I knew it was going to be great. I remember we talked about it. I said it's probably going to do, like, I felt like it was going to do just under $1 billion. Because
worldwide, yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be this big until I watched it.
How big it is here, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me because, I mean, finally the black community has that
There's
movie.
that aspect, and I never thought of it from that aspect until I
here's a
watched it,
blockbuster.
and then you're like, yeah.
Okay, I understand it, right?
Okay.
May Jock Odin bless you.
And also you.
But when it opened to over 200 million, my mind was fucking blown. Because I remember back in the day when Spider-Man opened at 114, that was like, oh my god, a movie opened at over 100?
Yeah.
And now here, Black Panther, who in the comic books, I mean, he's going to become an A-lister now like Iron Man did because his movie was so successful.
They kept trying to make him an A-lister,
Mm-hmm.
but because comic books are largely written by white men,
Mm-hmm.
he was never ever going to get to where he should be because of that aspect. Because, like, Reginald Hudlin? Reggie Hudlin?
Yeah.
He had a great run on it, and that was
he had a great run.
really acclaimed, but as soon as he was off that book, then that book tanked.
Yeah, it was a short run, too.
Yeah, it was quick.
It wasn't
but
long.
it had, like, it was him and John Romita Jr.
They kicked it off, and then he had a bunch of different artists coming in and out. He had Storm get married to T'Challa in there. But Priest had a very...
Priest was
had a
another
big
one that
run.
had a really good run. This latest one with Nikai Coates or something like that, that's getting a lot of praise. But it's just... I think it pisses people off, too, that, like, Black Panther was created by a white guy, you know? But, like, what I love about Black Panther is even though he's been created by a white guy, he was largely written by white guys, he was still never treated like a joke.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been regarded as one of
Right.
the smartest men
Yeah.
in the Marvel Universe. He's been a part of every incarnation of the Illuminati,
Mm-hmm.
which is their secret behind the scenes Avengers with Reed Richards, Namor, I think even Dr. Doom, like all these guys, Professor X, like all of them are a part of this.
Yeah.
And they're, and he's always been treated like a big fucking deal, and I'm so glad that he gets to have his Captain America moment. Because Captain America was always treated like a big deal, but he was never the big top guy. And then you have him, and same with Iron Man. You have him now, like, recognized worldwide. Where now I would argue you have like Black Panther. Like I said, like now you've got a Black Batman.
Yeah.
And kids can literally go, you know what? Black Panther wouldn't do this. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And I love it. My only complaint is that Black Panther kills people with no second thoughts. You know? There's none of this like, I don't want to kill you. It's he just kills.
That could change now.
It could change now.
With his new outlook on everything.
There's that, and I mean, it's that warrior aspect that, like, you even had, you have it with Wonder Woman where they tease it. And they even sort of touch upon it with Captain America where you get that he's killed people in the war. Like, even in Winter Soldier, he goes, yeah, sometimes we did some things that we weren't necessarily proud of, but we did it so that people didn't have to do that later. So you kind of, like, even though they never say it, I am with, who's the writer? Rucka. I'm with Rucka, where he goes, yeah, Cap was in World War II, or World War I, or wherever they want him at. Yeah, World War II, and he goes, you don't think he killed people? Yeah, he killed people. Okay, we just don't really talk about it because you don't want your symbol of America being the guy killing people.
Yeah.
You know, but I do like how they had Bucky being the guy that was also killing people too. So I get that. It's just I think you're right. Like moving forward, maybe we don't see him ever kill anyone
It
ever
seems
again.
like he's got a different stance on things now.
Because he's opened it up to the world now.
He's opened it up, and he was going by his father's rules. That when he found out what his father did, what everyone has done in the past, he said, "I'm going to be a different king. This is going to be a different Wakanda."
Yeah,
and I think going forward,
and it worked. You know what? Another thing that I liked how they both did their Black Panther vision quests, and it was starkly different. Mm-hmm. I love the scene where he's talking with J'aka on the plains of Wakanda, but I absolutely love that Killmonger
talk to his father
in the fucking apartment building. Yeah. I thought I was literally like, yeah, and I mean, like I loved it right at the beginning too, where he's like, yeah, man, motherfucker, and all this, and then all of a sudden T'Chaka shows up, and he's just like, right, like into traditional Wakandan speak, and then later you find out that he was sold out, like he was being watched immediately.
Yeah.
And I actually do kind of like that they had that little like dirtiness to T'Chaka, where it's just like, yeah, but you did this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, but I had to, and it's like, I can't do it this way. So yeah, I feel I'm with you on this one. I feel like yeah, you're right. Like he's from here on out, he's gonna be, because he has to be. He almost has to be, because it's like like Superman can't kill because he's Superman. So now Black Panther's like going to be in the same situation where it's just like, yeah, but now I'm a symbol for, like, I love the scene where he's like, oh, I bought that building, I bought that building, I bought that building. All these buildings I bought just so that, everybody's going to have a place to stay. I'm like, man, this is so great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes going forward. Because, I mean, like we've mentioned, the original 4, 5 with Black Widow and 6 with Hawkeye, because they're all retiring.
They're all done. They're all coming up done.
Avengers 3, 4, and then we're not going to see probably 80% of these guys ever again. Black Panther, and I guess to a degree Spider-Man, they're going to be the guys that head the Marvel Studio Cinematic Universe going forward. Yep.
Well, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel. These are and Thor, because Thor is definitely, like, Hemsworth's not going anywhere.
I don't know. All his contracts up, so it's hard to say what they're going to do.
They're already talking about a Thor 4.
He wants to do a Thor 4, whether it happens or not.
That's true. It's almost a shame, because he's one of the few that hasn't really done anything else. Or when he's tried to be other than
but
Thor.
He's not successful instead of Thor.
Which is weird, because it's not like he's a terrible actor.
No, he's not.
Like, I actually thoroughly enjoyed him in Ghostbusters.
He was very funny in Ghostbusters, In the Heart of the Sea.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
He was really good in it.
Black Hat, I remember seeing the trailers, and I was just like,
I had zero interest to see Black Hat. And
part of it is because it's like Hugh Jackman in Swordfish.
Yeah,
you got a model bodybuilder as a hacker.
Yeah. The crime hacker film genre doesn't really do anything for me, I guess. It
does, but there's a certain, like, I mean, okay, yeah, sure, not every stereotypical nerd is going to be like Sheldon. Mm-hmm. Okay, but they're also not all going to be fucking superhero models. Yeah. Right? So, like, I feel like if you're going to be a hacker, you're spending more time hacking than you are barbell curls.
True. Yeah, you're not going to be ripped.
You're not going to be too concerned about moisturizing your skin because you want to frack the system. But, whatever. Maybe that's just me. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like...
So, Black Panther, the cast...
It really is one of the best movies, and it's not one of those things where, like, I feel like... At first, I kind of felt like it was one of those where people didn't want to say anything bad about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously that was going to happen, but...
Because...
There's really not anything bad to say about it.
Yeah, like, I mean, for me, the bad things were, like, killing off the, like, Claw and Killmonger. I feel like Killmonger had way more legs. Like, if you're going to kill off Claw, like, I'd accept Claw if Killmonger stayed alive. But even though he did have a great ending, like,
I kind of feel like Claw might return somehow still, and I don't know how, but I don't think we've seen the last of Claw.
Was he killed on screen, if I remember correctly? I don't think so. You know what? I don't remember. Actually, you know what? I went to take a pee during his death. Oh, okay.
It was
I
great.
can't remember if he was killed off screen or on screen, or if it was one of those where like they shoot the gun at the camera and you're just like, well, I guess he's dead.
But Killmonger, I loved, but his death does serve a purpose.
It serves an absolute purpose.
His death is the cause of this going forward. Like everything.
Yeah, you know what? If he didn't die, then I guess it would have had to have ended differently because it couldn't end the same way because it doesn't have the same impact.
Yeah,
because it's still just like essentially he's just trying to do it the way he wants to do it without trying to be like his dad. Whereas he sees how trying to be like his dad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, fuck, it was a great movie.
Black
Everyone
Panther,
in it.
Black Panther is amazing.
It's no bad actor or bad performance in this movie.
Chadwick Boseman again proves that he was the perfect guy for Black Panther.
Well, he did it in Civil War.
He did it in Civil War, but I mean, his character wasn't really too fleshed out in Civil War.
And it didn't need to be, but now that it was,
fleshed out in here, you're like, fuck, you're good.
Yep.
You're so good. Ryan Coogler, perfect choice for directing the film.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why everyone loved Creed.
Yeah, that's right. Which I haven't watched yet.
I still haven't watched it either, but you know what? I haven't even watched Rocky Balboa. I'm way behind on Rocky movies.
Balboa's good. I like Balboa.
Still haven't seen it. But I do want to watch Creed now before Creed 2, just because, Dolph Lundgren coming back. I know. It's
that part, I'm actually, I knew that Creed was going to be, like, a reboot cool, right? Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, okay, but really, does it have to be a reboot cool sequel?
We can only go quills so long.
Yeah, see reboot quill? Like, I mean,
see reboot.
We're getting, like, it's getting ridiculous where, you know. Yeah. Because it's like, I'm kind of scared for the Lost Kingdom, or the Last Kingdom or something like that for Jurassic Park. Jurassic World 2. Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom. I'm a little scared about that one because I'm worried that it's going to be another Lost World situation.
I mean, the setup looks identical to Lost World. First half on the island, second half in the city. But the trailer also showed a Mosasaurus going after surfers, so I don't know how they're going to fucking plug this one back up.
Well, I mean, with the way that Jurassic World is set, they don't have to plug it up. No. Because the world knows. It's just eradicating the remaining dinosaurs. Yeah. That was part of my problem with the Lost World, because then it was like, well, you had the T-Rex running around, and then it's like, yeah, but how do you go back from that? Yeah. You can't. You know, and then in Jurassic Park 3, it's another island. Okay, but you still, how do you bounce back from the first, like the second one? Mm-hmm. Everyone knows the dinosaurs are there. How do you bounce back? They don't even talk about it. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like the third as much, because they just kind of go, it's almost like they go, yeah, that movie didn't happen. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Spielberg made Michael Crichton write a fucking sequel and undo the stuff he did in the first book because he wanted a sequel. Yeah. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So this leads into our next one, which will be entirely devoted to Infinity War.
Yes, entirely. And then going forward, we're going to wrap up the rest of Phase 3 by doing single episodes for each
as they come out.
Individual movie. Infinity
next
War.
time we do stuff like this, it'll be like Mission Impossible series, or it'll be like Daniel Craig's James Bond series. But here on out, we'll be doing more single movies as they come out. Yeah,
as they come out, definitely single movies, I think. Jurassic Park, obviously, we'll do that.
Yep, definitely do that.
That will come.
Definitely do that one.
Yeah. But before we get to all those, we're going to do part 1 of Phase 3. Again.
Yeah. The revamp.
It was great hanging out hanging out and just wasting a couple hours.
Was it a waste, though?
It's kind of a practice for the final episode.
It's a practice run.
It was a practice run. It was
because
great.
Even though I feel like we nailed it, I don't know if we actually did. If you believe in God, this is God's way of saying you need a second try.
Right. Everything happens for a reason, right?
That's right. I don't believe in God, but maybe something tells me we need to redo this. Except for the fact that we only had 40 minutes of footage the first time around.
That's fine.
I forgot to mention, hey, Nicolas Cage, could you be on the show sometime? Right. That'd be absolutely great if you could be on the show. And if you happen to run into Val Kilmer, Could he also be on the show? That would be great.
Yes.
That'd be absolutely great.
So we
But
can
if
do...
you run into Edward Norton,
Oh.
please don't ask him to be part of the show.
Mm.
It's just you guys, as of yet.
Oh, and George Clooney.
No, I never said I wanted him on here.
Oh.
I just said that if it was going to be Clooney, Batman, and Nick Cage, Superman, that would be a crazy movie.
That would be a crazy movie.
You know?
Maybe Clooney could be Doomsday.
Doomsaw?
Doom's Clue.
Kinda. He could actually kind of be, because they could actually have the same kind of...
Oh, Cloomsday.
Cloomsday. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's so much better.
That's great.
Doom Clue? No. Cloomsday? We have a winner.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, well...
Hey, guess what? I'm Chris Mercier.
Hey, guess what? I am Ken Levitsky.
Oh, why'd you go robot voice?
Why not?
Touche. There's no rules.
There's no rules. That is
On
a
that
wrap.
note, Kenneth loved Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh!
And Chris loves Thor Ragnarok.
I kind of did.
For Thor. Only reason.
There you go. There.
Only
now
reason.
you got me. Now we're
Only
even.
reason.
Now we're even. Because I
Right.
didn't. But okay.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Peace.
Adios. All right. Kind of fucking worried about walking up to this thing right now. Yes! It recorded!
These pancakes are delicious.